Ari Temkin. We have a great show for you guys here tonight. Please welcome your special guests on the dais this evening, Scott Moss. J. Stewart Cheney. Daniel Sawtell. Zach T-Blue. Jaime Gonzalez. Derek Vandy. Brent Moshi. Jake Rep. And your roast master for this evening, Bobby DiPasquale. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please stand and rise to meet our man of the hour from ESPN 104.9 The Horn, the Adams Theory, Ari Temkin! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Austin Roaster Club at the Highball. Tonight we are here to roast Ari Temkin. Oh, Ari, for just a minute, would you mind standing back up again for me, please? Thanks. I want to make sure you can see the whole show, Ari. Here we go. You look good. I want to make sure you can see everything and see everybody in the audience too. As I said, we are here tonight to honor Ari Temkin, co-host of the Adams Theory on ESPN Austin 104.9 The Horn. When I heard that we were going to be roasting someone from ESPN Austin, I was thrilled. Which awesome personality would this be? Would it be Aaron Hogan? Would it be Chip Brown? Maybe Chad Hastings, Jeff Ketchum, or even Sean Adams himself? But then I was told it was going to be Ari Temkin. Ladies and gentlemen, that's like being told you're going to have dinner with one of the Beatles and you find out it was Pete Best. You know, if everybody at ESPN Austin were the Super Friends, Ari would be Aquaman. Except even more useless. You'd either be Aquaman or like one of the crappy Wonder Twins. I'm not sure which one. Probably the female one, that's my guess. So, the question is, why are we honoring Ari Temkin when there are so many people here, even tonight, that are so much more deserving? It's true. No, I'm seriously. Look at how long Brent Foshee has been doing comedy and never said anything funny in his life. Look how long that Jake Rep has kept the 90s alive with this outfit. The sock cap and everything. Grunge ended, sir, a long time ago, but we're happy you're keeping here. Now, look how long it's taken Jaime Gonzalez to gain that much weight. That is stuff we should be roasting. No, seriously, Jaime, I'm glad you're here. Jake, I'm glad you're here. Ari, I'm glad you're here. Jaime, I'm especially glad you're here because we're going to need someone to help clean up after the show. I really do appreciate that. Jaime, I also want to congratulate you for beating anorexia. Congratulations. Ari. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Ari, after all you've done, all your blood, your sweat, your tears, you're now being roasted by a guy who looks like a cross between Sean Astin, Patton Oswalt, and Adam Richard from Maine vs. Food. You, sir, finally made it. And now that you finally made it, Ari, we're basically here to tell you it's time to retire. I've listened to your show, and it's definitely time for you to retire. This really isn't a roast, Ari. This is an episode of A&E's Intervention. I admit that before this roast took place, I didn't know Ari very well. So I asked some of his friends, I asked Margot, I asked some of the people very close to him and said, please, if you could describe Ari to me, how would you do it? And they basically said, think of the worst sports radio personality you could think of and subtract 2 feet. The truth is, Ari, you are pretty short. I'm pretty sure you have not ridden a roller coaster without parental supervision. So, and ever since I've met you, I've kind of wanted to pet you because I've always wanted to pet a midget. So yeah, no, that's very true. As his name suggests, Ari is Jewish, and it makes perfect sense that a Jewish man is telling us all about sports because throughout all of history, there have been fantastic Jewish athletes like Hall of Fame pitcher Sandy Koufax and backup NFL quarterback Sage Rosenfeld. He's not even Jewish? Crap, you don't even have that. That's pretty sad. So really, honest to God, having a Jewish guy telling us about sports is really like having Scott Moss give us tips on how to get laid. It's just not much you can have about that. But the truth is, Ari has not always been in radio, ladies and gentlemen. That's the truth. When he first moved to Austin, he actually worked as a door-to-door office supply salesman. In fact, the only reason he got the job at ESPN Austin was because the Girl Scouts who sell Girl Scout cookies outside of Walgreens weren't available. I don't know if I just insulted the whole Girl Scout troop out here or you. I don't know what happened there. How did the crowd turn on me on that one? That's what I want to know. So I think the other reason, though, you probably got the job at ESPN was because I think you were the only person in Austin that Aaron Hogan hasn't worked with yet. That guy has gone through more morning show hosts than Skip Bayless on the actual ESPN. I think Aaron might have worked actually with Skip Bayless on an actual show. It was called The Worst Show Ever. So, I asked Ari's wonderful girlfriend Margot, if Ari were to have a theme song, what would it be? And Margot said, isn't it obvious? We represent the Lollipop Girl, the Lollipop Girl. In fact, people have asked me, why are we doing this show on a Tuesday? And the answer to that is because for the rest of the week, Wednesday through the end of the weekend, Ari's going to be playing the Munchkin Mayor over at Wicked at the Bass Concert Hall. This was his only free night. So a lot of people don't know this about Ari too. Ari doesn't really look it, but as I talked to him and as I met him, I found out that Ari is actually pretty street. As long as that street is a cul-de-sac in a gated community. He likes to keep the riff-raff out, whatever that means. I don't even know. But, Ari, I didn't know this about you until recently. You're actually a national hero. I was talking to some friends who have been in the military, and they said that they were thrilled to discover you on the radio. They told me that your voice and your take on sports is so torturous that they use it on suspected terrorists to get information. I've been told there's three levels of torture. There's sleep deprivation, there's waterboarding, and then there's listening to Ari talk about college football. These are the... How dare I make fun of him at a roast? So, but as I mentioned, that Ari is the co-host of the Adams Theory. That's ESPN Radio, Austin's radio afternoon show. I think what I like most about your show, Ari, is the name The Adams Theory. It's a good name because really we all know the word theory means best guess. So what I'm listening to is 3 hours of two guys taking their best guess at college football. It's fantastic. I really want to listen to a show where I get no facts. Here's my theory on the Adams Theory. It sucks. I know Sean Adams is in the audience. I'm not afraid of him. The show, The Adams Theory, does consist, though, of Sean Adams, a big, bald, black African-American, which black African-American is the same thing, and a short Jew. So it's very similar to another very popular afternoon ESPN show, Pardon the Interruption. So when I turned it in, or I tuned the show in, I thought it was going to be very similar to that. However, after listening to some of Ari's show, I realized it wasn't part of the interruption, but more like, pardon me while I change the station. But no, in all seriously, Ari, you have inspired me to get XM radio. So, I'm happy about that. No, I'm just kidding. When Ari is on, I never change the station because I'm already listening to something else. So I'm not worried about missing anything there. But there's a lot of great people, Ari, here tonight who want to celebrate you and how to talk about what a great guy you are and to celebrate and honor you here tonight. Unfortunately, none of them are here on the dais, so you're in trouble about that. But at a roast, it's always customary after we kind of tease our man of the hour to say something nice about him. And actually, in all honesty, Ari, there's a lot of great things about you. And I envy you in many ways. I wish that I could talk sports every day on the air, except when you get someone in who calls himself Deer Slayer. That's the dumbest name. He's a regular caller named Deer Slayer. You guys are pumping out great hits there at ESPN Austin. But no, I really do, Ari. I wish I could talk sports every single day, and I find it so impressive that you get to do that every single day. Texas is a sports-mad state, especially in college football. And it's a very proud state that really values its own people. But, and you see it all the time with the Texas X's bumper stickers, how close-knit the UT family is. So it's very hard for an outsider, both as a non-Texan and as a rival Jayhawk, to have gained as many admirers as you have. And that says a lot about how good a work you do on the radio. And there's a reason why your show is as highly rated as it is. When I moved to Austin, Ari, it is true, back before you did, I was a big fan of ESPN Austin. About a year later, I really did receive XM radio. So for a while, I stopped listening to the local shows. I'm not from here originally. I like listening to the national stuff. But however, ever since studying you for this roast, I've tuned into your show. And I found myself no longer switching back over to the national stations when you're on the air. You have gained a new fan. And I'm very honored to be with you here tonight. Congratulations on your night off. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we do have a fantastic show for you this evening. A lot of great people to get up here and talk. Our first guest this evening is Ari's writing partner. Because apparently a sports radio host really needs someone to help him write. That's basically Ari's way of saying, how do I sound more boring and more uninteresting? I know I'm going to hire this guy. This man has worked with Ari on a few film writing projects, including the Jewish blaxploitation Kosher Chocolate. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Rick.
I'm here to roast my buddy Ari. Yes, he's my writing partner. I don't write his sports jokes, but he does help me write. We write film stuff, but that's regardless. We're here to discuss how Jewish Ari looks tonight. It's a major concern of mine, and I thought I'd bring it up. But at first, I want to talk about how we met a couple years ago. We were at a party, and Margot was like, "You gotta come meet my boyfriend." And she pointed at this guy, he's a pretty good looking guy, and I was like, oh, he's good. And she's like, no, that's him. But, oh, no. Fair enough. And I was like, okay. So I met him, and we started talking film, and he was really intelligent, and you could tell he had a good, we had the same, I guess, views on film and everything like that. And then he started telling me about the screenplay idea, and he's sitting there telling me about this idea he had with these type of characters, and I was like, dude, I can't get over the fact how Jewish this guy looks. It's like almost uncomfortable as a Jew. It's like overwhelming. I'm like, you're going to give us away right now. You know what I'm saying? Ari's so Jewish looking that religious schools invite him as a special guest so they can show the kids what people from the Old Testament look like. The other day, I was looking through his Facebook page. I was looking through his profile pictures. I mean, it looks like Nazi propaganda, dude. I need to do something about it. You look like Ryan Braun before he started taking steroids. You should probably still taking steroids, you know? If Larry David and Anne Frank were to have a kid, well, first of all, that'd be kind of weird, but it'd be a good writer, unlike yourself. so Jewishly that, well, frankly, you scare Arab children away. Can I just do that? Like this? Anti-defamation league's calling me right now. I don't know if you guys know this, but Ari is an excellent writer, and he often likes to write from the gay or the black male perspective, which I think is very interesting. Which would, you know, much like Eminem, you're a closet homosexual wannabe black person. Yeah, no, I mean, you've taken some African American study courses and stuff like that in college. Just look at like Louis Farrakhan. Yeah, guess what? Just FYI, if Louis Farrakhan met you right off the bat, he would not like you. You know what I'm saying? Might as well have a yellow Star of David as your face. Anyway, all right. Well, just no. So can we just talk about your dress code? Like, you look nice tonight, but normally Ari dresses like a 9-year-old black kid. He's sponsored by Tommy Hilfiger. Is Sean here? There's Sean. Sean, on behalf of the viewers, I wanted to thank you for carrying the show. I'm a big fan of Tommy Hilfiger. Anyway.
No viewers of radio.
Whatever, listeners. Good point. Thank you. He caught me slipping. Thanks, G-Face. Anyway. So anyway, on a serious note though, you're an amazing dude. You're super talented. I'm really happy to have you part of my team. We have a cool project coming up, and more importantly, you're a really awesome friend. And I look forward, we're basically family already, but I look forward to when your cousin marries my sister. So, I love you, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Rapp. No, seriously, thanks for keeping the hat on. We really do appreciate that. Thanks for staying with us. Our next guest tonight is a contributor for Sports Illustrated. So unlike Ari, he understands what it's like to work for a reputable sports news outlet. He's also an accomplished performer and one half of the popular comedy show Jorak and Jorak. Ladies and gentlemen, Brent Foshi.
Hey, keep it going for Bobby DePasquale, everybody. This is all he's got. Thanks for having me tonight. Bobby DePasquale is here. He's Italian-American, for those of you who don't know that. In English, DePasquale means the Pasquale. No, I'm kidding. I have a lot of respect for Bobby. Most comedians that aren't funny like him would just stay home and scream jokes at their cats. You're a fan of the Giants, but apparently not irony. You're going to slam Ari all night for being short and Jewish, but you add 2 inches to your height every morning with hairspray, and you're still the same size. And your jokes are so cheap, Jaime wouldn't work for them. Speaking of, Jaime Gonzalez is here. Give it up for Jaime. Jaime, I'd like you to know that we all know that you were born in America. We know that because if you crossed over the border, it would have broken. You're Hispanic, you're hilarious, you're the size of the Hindenburg. You're like Ralphie Mejo. You're so big, if you put your balls on a passed out drunk guy, they'd call it a T-barge. You look like your favorite pastime is being bukkakied with gravy. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I cross the roast line with that one? Speaking of sexual deviance, Scott Moss at the end of the table. For those of you guys who don't know Scott, Scott performs as a musician, an improviser, a stand-up, and he always performs as a character in some half-assed costume. He's like Lazy Gaga. You look like Neo from The Matrix, went on a 12-year all-cheese diet. You're so dead inside, the Italian Coast Guard is searching for your soul right now. I'm sorry, are there Italian cruisers in the audience? Don't laugh too hard, Daniel.
I like you.
You're just a raincoat away from being exposed by the Scooby-Doo gang. You're like a James Bond villain if James Bond was played by Corky from Life Goes On. You're so ugly if Rick Santorum was elected president, states may be able to choose whether it's legal to look at you. No, I kid because I care. The man of the hour tonight is Ari. Give it up for Ari one more time, guys. Ari, you're pretty much the only Jewish guy on this dais, and that's brave. Because the last time 9 Christians got together in Texas to give a Jew this bad of a beating, it was like 4:30, probably. I think it happens a lot in Texas. That's what you guys do, right? You guys hate Jewish people here. In college, you were the play-by-play man for the Kansas Jayhawks. That's amazing. That is so great. Who wouldn't want to do that? I wonder why more colleges don't have Jewish play-by-play men. I wonder that. Anthony Peeler played at Missouri. This is my impression of Ari calling a Missouri-Kansas game. Kansas leads by 2. Missouri has the ball driving down the field. Anthony Peeler posts up outside the 3-point shot, and he makes it. It's a beautiful 2-point shot. I didn't even know they had 1-point baskets. Too bad it doesn't count. Let's switch formats. Seriously though, you have a wonderful job, maybe the best job ever. You get to just sit around and talk about sports all day long without knowing anything about it. You're like a Pennsylvania foster child that quit after the first mile. I told you. A lot of you guys may know that the most popular Jewish sports radio personality is Jim Rome. Now, Jim Rome couldn't be here tonight, but I happen to know Jim Rome. So I got in touch with him because I wanted to see what he thought about Ari Temkin being roasted, and this is what Jim Rome said. Bro, Ari Temkin is being roasted in Austin tonight. Nice take. Romy has your back, bro. Seriously. Good call. Ari Temkin, a local ESPN radio personality, is being roasted in Austin by some comedians to benefit Comfort the Children. Whoa. Shut it down, bro. Listen to Romy. Good call. Ari Temkin, co-host of a local ESPN radio broadcast in Austin, Texas, is being roasted tonight by a bunch of local comedians for a charity that helps kids or something. I mean, Romy, don't play that. It's not even your show, Ari. You're the co-host. Wrong answer. Sean Adams is a beast. Let's go to my co-host. Seriously, KB, what do you think about that? Nice take, KB. Ari Temkin, co-host of the Adams Report in Austin, Texas, being roasted tonight by the Austin Roasters Club, even though the show is named for Sean Adams, a beast, and he's just on the staff for a charity that does something or another for kids. Look, Romy, don't play that. If Romy wanted to roast the Lakers, it'd be Kobe or Derek Fisher, not Jason Capano. Seriously, bro, fail. Not a lot of Jim Rome listeners. In all seriousness, I have started listening to your show for the last few weeks since I knew that we were roasting you guys. I think it's a great show. I think it's absolutely fantastic. To sit there and talk on the radio with a bunch of just absolute crazy homers who are like, I don't even know what they're saying. And you and Sean, you guys do a great job. I love radio where the hosts don't get crazy and wacky and start just postulating about absurd stuff. I like it where it's just even keel commentary, and I think this is a great charity. Comfort the Children. I think they're in the back there. You're a great sport for being here. Thank you for letting me be here with you.
Our next performer tonight, our next guest, owns the most colorful socks in all of Austin that he constantly matches with his pocket squares quite nicely. When he heard we were roasting a Jewish person tonight, he definitely wanted to be here because he's the only Iranian here on the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, Derek Vandy.